The stone itself has been represented as a tree with golden leaves, a great king or a lion. When these symbols were represented visually, they were often lovingly elaborated into striking works of art, usually prints, engravings, and woodcuts. Among the most celebrated of these are the figures of Abraham the Jew. These remarkable drawings were discovered in 1357 by Nicholas Flamel in an old manuscript that he purchased from a peddler. Later, he had copies of them painted on an archway of a Paris cemetery, where they survived until the 19th century. Fortunately, they have been preserved in an 18th century print. One picture depicts a mountain with 7 caverns and 7 black and yellow serpents. One serpent with golden wings is devouring another, and a pair of griffins are also trying to consume each other. At the summit of the mountain stands a bough with golden branches, bearing red and white flowers and tossed by the north wind. According to the gloss, this depicts the sublimation process. Another picture shows Saturn on a cloud, armed with a scythe, cutting off the legs of the god Mercury, and at the practical level, the mixture of mercury and vitriol. It was one of these designs, in this case symbolizing the mortification of mercury mixed with vitriol and salt, that so intrigued the founder of the Surrealist movement, André Breton.
I would appreciate your noting the remarkable analogy, insofar as their goals are concerned, between the Surrealist efforts and those of the alchemists. The Philosopher's Stone is nothing more or less than that which was to enable man's imagination to take a stunning revenge on all things, which brings us once again, after centuries of the mind's domestication and insane resignation, to the attempt to liberate once and for all the imagination by the long, immense, reasoned derangement of all the senses, and all the rest. Perhaps we have thus far only managed to decorate modestly the walls of our abode with figures, which, in first glance, seem beautiful to us, again in imitation of Flamel, before he discovered his prime agent, his matter, his furnace. He liked to portray thus a king with a great cutlass, who was having a multitude of infants killed before his eyes, and whose mothers were sobbing at the feet of the heartless gendarmes, whilst the blood of said children was then gathered by other soldiers and put into a large vessel, in which the sun and the moon of heaven came to bathe, and close beside it was a young man with winged feet, with Mercury's wand in his hand, wherewith he struck a salad which covered his head. Against him came running and flying, with wings outspread, a tall old man who wore a clock affixed to his head. Doesn't this sound like the Surrealist painting?
Breton and the Surrealists were not especially concerned with the legitimatized scientific achievements of the alchemists, nor even with their role as prophets of the nuclear age.